Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. We made it. Happy Friday. My name is Chris Halicke. Welcome to the Southside Beat. Flying solo again today. Hopefully we'll have Corey back on Monday. Penguins season's over, so we shouldn't have the Penguins distracting him, and then we'll see what's going on with Pirate stuff. But either way, man, we made it. End of the week. I know most of you guys are excited. Working in the industry that I work in, Fridays don't have necessarily the same meaning as they did before I, went into the journalism industry. But I almost live vicariously through my wife when it comes to celebrating what Friday is, and then obviously like Saturday and stuff like that, and what the weekend feels like. Because obviously, like, my kids are out of school, my wife's out of, not working. So excited for the weekend, excited to be here. We're doing another mock draft. That's why things look a little bit different, because here in just a few minutes, I'm going to get the mock draft here up on the screen, and we'll get started. Obviously it's not Corey and I both today. So you're gonna have to rely on just my expertise alone. So sorry. But no, you guys give some input too. I don't want like this to just be about me. I want you guys to give some input, and I can, both tell you why I might agree with like what you guys might be pushing for, why I might disagree. And again, I'm trying to go at this from the perspective of I'm drafting for the Steelers, not like these are my personal preferences. Obviously it's going to be through my lens because, I mean, like, I can't speak for Omar Khan. I can't speak for Mike Tomlin or Andy Weidel or anybody else who's involved in the drafting process. So there will be some personal biases to a certain extent, but I'm going to try to put that through the lens of what I know the Steelers are prioritizing, what I know the Steelers want, who I know they like. It doesn't mean that, hey, I know they like Talise Fuaga, that we're going to trade up to 8th overall to get him. Like, we're not going to be ridiculous about it. If anything, what I'm going to try to do today is I'm really going to try to avoid any trades, just so we can truly see what happens at 20, what possibility happens at 20. But I'm still going to kind of go through. I'm going to see, because if a certain tackle or a certain position or a certain player falls to a certain spot, then maybe we do kind of pause it, entertain trading up. Or if we don't like anything that we see at 20, maybe we do entertain trading down. But I'm going to try to save that as a last resort, because I do want to kind of use that as a situation like, okay, here's what the Steelers could possibly do. Because, I know it's a draft and, you have 7 rounds, but obviously there's a lot of attention on the first round pick because, well, that's the most valuable one. So now that kind of goes without saying. So the Norseman 7 says, like the Steelers merch in the background looks good. Appreciate it. This is collected over several years. The one that I actually like the most is the newspaper clipping, because that's actually the Dallas Morning News. It's not even like the Post Gazette or the Trib or anything like that. That's, obviously I was living in North Texas, the Dallas area whenever when the Steelers won, both Super Bowls in my lifetime. So any newspaper clipping that I'd get, I have newspaper clippings of when the Mavericks won the NBA Finals in 2011, and I've got newspaper clippings of when the Rangers just won the World Series last year. But like anytime I try to save newspaper clippings of like any teams that I've followed or had interest in or anything like that. So it's just fun. It's just interesting tidbit, because obviously, like, typically those newspaper clippings are like typically the local paper, and this one's not. So it's still pretty good. Good bang head there with pick 6. Pretty good. All right. Well, let's get the screen share in here, because once that happens, my face will get a lot smaller. Let's see. Just really quick feedback. Rick says Tomlin's taking Fuaga or Mims if they are there. So the only thing of interest is in what we're going to do if they're both gone. I mostly agree with you on Fuaga or Mims. I don't know. I think they like Mims. I do. I do think they like Mims. I think they like him a lot. I don't know if they like him as much as they like Fuaga. I haven't heard. It doesn't mean that they don't. I'm just saying I haven't heard as much. love for Mims as I have for Fuaga, but that doesn't mean they don't like Mims. I actually wholeheartedly believe that they do. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens if neither one are there. Like if JC Latham falls and Fuaga and Mims are both gone. Now, I don't see a scenario in which Mims is gone before Latham, but again, you never know what happens here. I think that's a pretty easy slam dunk right there. If like Fuaga and Mims are both gone and Latham's still there, I think that's a slam dunk. I think that's a very easy decision. SEC guy, right tackle, plug and play. That's yeah. Cody says sounds like Mims is their favorite player in the draft. Actually, I would argue that Fuaga might be. All I know is that I heard from the inside that they and I had a lot of emphasis on loved, like they loved Fuaga with the pre-draft visit. It's interesting when you hear like the opposite. Like, sorry, I bumped the mic. When you hear the opposite, like last year, like heard the pre-draft visit did not go well with Christian Gonzalez. So when something like that happens, you can almost write them off. But when when a team loves a player and you hear something like that, you just begin to wonder one of two things. Number one, is that a smokescreen? So that they can put up a smokescreen so they can like somebody else, and I'm more inclined to believe that they really did love the guy. Now, how much do they love him? How much are they willing to, if they don't think he's going to be there at 20, and I don't think he will be, how much are they willing to trade to get up to get him? That's what's really interesting. So, one more really quick before we get started. Randy says this 2024 draft has to soar way above our expectations. We need this. Yes, I do agree with that, but I do think again, early returns don't want to put too much stock in it just yet because it has just been a year. But last year's rookie class does look really, really good. Already, it looks like they have a shutdown corner in Joey Porter Jr. Keanu Benton. I would expect big things from him in his second season. Broderick Jones, especially if he goes back over to the left side. Really interested to see what he does there, because really quick, whenever I did the latest Chalk Talk, and I looked, I expected to see the vast majority of his snaps at right tackle, which they were, but I almost completely forgot. And then as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, duh, that his first NFL experience was at left tackle. He was filling in. And I mean, 2 games, he didn't give up a sack. Now, it's 2 games. Like, that's an insanely small sample size. All 4 sacks that Broderick Jones allowed were on the right side. Now, played a lot more snaps on the right side, so that would tend to make sense. But it's just interesting to me, like more than 100 snaps. I don't remember the exact number was, but well more than 100 snaps on the left side didn't give up a sack. I think he gave like 2 quarterback hits. And that was it. And that's protecting the quarterback's blind side. And when you think about, and those 2 games were against Houston and Baltimore. So teams with some, pretty good rushers, they can get after the quarterback a bit, would like to see how he would do against a guy like Myles Garrett. That'd be interesting. But, R2, we have to disagree. You've been on this Joey Porter Jr. thing for a while, man. He says, I'll never say Jr. is a shutdown. He's as mid as Kenny. Oh boy, man, just go look at the numbers. That's all I got to say. Go look at the numbers. Numbers are there, man. They're right up there. They're right in the same ballpark with Sauce Gardner as a rookie. They just are. There's no, you can't argue with numbers. And these are not like pass rush win rates numbers that are made up. Yeah, it's just, and to put him in the same ballpark as, to put him in the same sentence as Kenny, I disagree. I all I'm saying, numbers are on my side of the argument. That's all I've got to say. And I've got them in the latest Chalk Talk. Go look at them. Look at his passer rating against, just, yeah, the number of targets per coverage snap. he actually got thrown to less often than Sauce Gardner did. And that's actually that's a good thing about Joey Porter Jr. because that means quarterbacks aren't throwing in his direction. And if you remember, he earned the right to follow the team's number one receiver around and was getting thrown at less than Sauce Gardner was as a rookie. Hey, R2, I don't know if you haven't been watching. I have been very critical of Kenny Pickett. I don't know if you're talking to everybody else in the chat or not, but if you're talking to me, oh my gosh, man. I have been very critical of Kenny Pickett. I have never said that Kenny Pickett was I don't think I've ever called him good. I said he had potential, and he does still have potential, but lots of concerns. All right, let's get into the all right, man. I could go on and on, but I'm not going to. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into the mock draft here. I got it set up. Same thing as last time. Obviously doing Steelers here, rounds 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna start off slow. And then again, and by the way, because of the way this works, I will have to because I got the streaming host and everything like that I'm looking at right now. So I won't be able to see your guys' comments while I'm in the mock draft, but whenever I pause, I'll come back over and I'll be able to see you guys. So I'll try to do this the best I can. It's a little difficult to do all of this while, doing all of this solo. So, we'll make do. All right. Let's go over here and let's get it started. Enter draft. I'm going to definitely let the first 10 picks go. Because I just definitely not thinking this, even if the Steelers were to trade, I don't think they're trading into the top 10. All right. So Caleb Williams goes, Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, 3rd overall. Okay. Marvin Harrison Jr., 4th overall. No shocker there. Malik Neighbors goes. Drake May goes to the Giants, 6th overall. Roma Dunze goes to the Titans at 7th. Joe Alt, 8th to the Falcons. Fashanu, the second tackle off the board, goes 9th. And then the Jets take Dallas Turner. So the Jets have been I've been doing this mock draft simulator quite a bit. The Jets are a team that, at least in this simulator, that has been taking Fuaga quite a bit. Now, again, this is a simulator. This is not, and this is to be fair, because I know a lot of people are like, it's PFF, I hate PFF. Well, again, if you saw at the beginning, the slider was all the way over in terms of the big board and how teams have their big boards. It's skewed all the way to public, not PFF. So this is taking into account big boards from all other websites, or at least relevant websites as well. But still, so that does, and that's one of the reasons why I really like this mock draft simulator, because this isn't just PFF's rankings on how they rank players. But so far, Fashanu and Alt are the only 2 tackles gone at this point through the top 10. So let's Vikings might take a tackle here. Let's see what happens here. Vikings take Brock Bowers. Okay. Broncos take Terrion Arnold. Okay. Raiders possibly tackle. Yep. There goes Fuaga at 13th overall. Then Quinyon Mitchell, 14th overall. And then the Colts take JC Latham. All right, let's pause it again. All right, so there are 2 tackles that the Steelers like. And this is a situation that I do feel is very, very realistic. The Steelers may love Fuaga, but shoot, they probably also really love Marvin Harrison Jr. It's just not happening. And that's not happening, not unless they trade up to the top 5 to go get him. And Billy says, yeah, Fuaga goes 13th for me all the time. And listen, I got an email yesterday. I get those emails, I'm on a mailing list for betting odds and stuff like that. I think the over under for when Fuaga is supposed to be drafted is 13.5. It's right there. So, hey guys, we're arguing back and forth about stuff. Let's have some fun. All right. Let's have some fun. All right. Especially because we're coming up on the Steelers pick here. We can argue about Joey Porter Jr. We can argue about Mitch Trubisky and all these guys. Especially Mitch Trubisky, man. Talk about leave the past in the past. All right, here we go. Seahawks picking 16th. They take Jared Verse. Jaguars take Byron Murphy. Bengals take a tackle, I bet. No, they took Brian Thomas. Oh, that's dangerous. All right. So, and then the Rams take Bo Nix. Interesting. All right. So we've got some decisions to make here. All right. We've got some serious decisions to make because there are about four players here that I really like at 20. And Mel asks, are you trading down? Absolutely not. I don't know. Maybe. There's, like I said, there's 4 players here that I really like. Maybe. I'll have to see. Let's see what the trade offers are. 6 teams interested in this pick. Okay, the Buccaneers at 26th overall, the Bills at 28th, and then the other 4 I'm not interested because that takes me out of the first round. I don't know. I'm not interested in trading down 6 spots. So no, I'm not trading down. If maybe the Cowboys came calling, about and see, I'm seeing some people tell me trade down. I don't think so. I don't think so. My gut tells me here it's between Cooper DeJean and Troy Fautanu. Those are the 2 that I'm really leaning towards. It's just okay. I understand Fautanu, the concern with him is, can he stick at tackle because of his length? I'm going to go with Matt Williamson's expertise here. Again, former pro scout, or former NFL scout. And James Moody brings it up here. Fautanu has short arms. Yes, but not short enough where he's automatically got to move to the interior. I do think he can stick at tackle. And again, not only from my own homework, but then again, I'm going to listen to Matt Williamson. And Isaiah says, isn't Mims there? Yes, he is. He is there. But again, here is where, and see, this is the other thing that Billy brings it up, is Fautanu left or right tackle, and we can look it up here. And again, this is where PFF, if you want to see where Pro Football Focus can be valuable, here you go. Now I'm logged in, so I don't know if you guys get all this stuff too, but I'm logged in. I have an account, so I can click on Fautanu here, and I can immediately go here, and I can see once it loads. I'm on my old computer here, so we're running slow. This is 2014 software here, Mac. You go right here, 2023, 984 out of 985 snaps at left tackle. The only other snap was at left guard. And then last year, vast majority on the left side, 890 snaps at left tackle, 52 at left guard, and then 2 whole snaps at right tackle. And that was last year. And that's over the past 3 seasons. So, you would think, okay, write off Fautanu because, he plays the left side. They want to move Broderick Jones over to the left side. If you want to not be as concerned about his length, and see, Joshua Dobbs here says he doesn't fit. I disagree. If you want to be less concerned about his length, move him over to the right side. And there are some people here saying, well, Fautanu will play guard in the league. I can guarantee that. I'm sorry, but I'm going to take a former scout's opinion over yours. That is not, that's not a knock on you. That's not meant as an insult. If Matt Williamson thinks that he can stay at right tackle, I'm going to stick with Matt Williamson's opinion. I'm not just saying that because, hey, he does some work here on DK Pittsburgh Sports.com. His scout's eye is phenomenal. Mark asked, well, who's the best corner there? It's Cooper DeJean. Right now it's Cooper DeJean. And I'm really tempted to take Cooper DeJean here because Cooper DeJean can come in and he can play a number of different positions. He can play on the outside. I do not think that and here we go. Here's a really good point here from the chat about Fotanu. He wasn't blindsided at Washington either because Penix is a lefty. Really, really, really good point there. So you're not having to worry. I don't think you have to worry about his length as much if he's playing on the right side. He's also very athletic. And they brought in Fotanu for a pre-draft visit, just like they did Mims. And I think Fotanu is more of a sure thing than Mims is. Mims is definitely more of your high risk, high reward type pick. I would rather go with the guy who I think is a little bit more of a sure thing. And at the absolute worst, if length is a true worry here with Fotanu, guess what? James Daniels is not, there's a really good shot that James Daniels will not retire as a Sealer. And I think he's going into the last year of his deal. If worst comes to worst, again, worst case scenario, he can't hack it at right tackle. Guess what? You can move him inside to guard once James Daniels is gone. And then there you go. You got yourself an absolute mauler at guard. So, and Cody here kind of wraps it up. Mims has a higher ceiling, but Fotanu has a higher floor. But it's not like Fotanu's ceiling is insanely low. So I'm going to go with Fotanu between the tackles. Now, the decision is between Fotanu or Cooper DeJean. Now, to me, there are other corners dude, this is really difficult. This is a really difficult decision for me. And this is the pick we're going to spend the most amount of time on. And John here says he's a physical corner, great tackler. Yes. And there's so much to like about Cooper DeJean. And I know that there's a lot of concern, and I agree. I saw it while watching film. There's some concern about how if he could stick on the outside. Some serious concerns about his ability to stay consistent in coverage there. But man, what says using all 10 minutes of the clock. Hey, this is the beauty of a mock draft here, man. I can take as long as I want. I got this thing paused. They're not going to tell me that I got to turn in my pick now. Yeah, I like both. I really do. I like both players. Cooper DeJean, man, I'm really, really interested in what he could do in the slot, just really all over the Steelers defense, and then also as a returner. He's a playmaker. I mean, we don't talk about guys who can provide splash. Cooper DeJean provides splash, man. He does. I almost want to take Cooper DeJean just more and more and talking about him. Yeah, Mark says it here. Cooper DeJean can return punts also. Yeah, it's if the Steelers are in this situation, I think you're happy, absolutely happy, because Cooper DeJean or Troy Fotanu, to me, either one, you are happy. Man, I don't know. I'm really. I almost want to just flip a coin, but that's if anybody found out that the GM's flipping a coin to make a pick. That's a quick way to get fired. Screw it, man. Let's take care of corner right now. Let's get a playmaker on defense. Let's take Cooper DeJean. Oh, that sucks, man. Trying to pass it off Fotanu there. That sucks. And see, there goes Mims at 21. Man, Fotanu still on the board at 23. Graham Barton goes to the Vikings at 23. Adonai Mitchell at 24 to the Cowboys. Nate Wiggins at 25. Fotanu's still on the board. There he goes. 26th overall to the Buccaneers. Darius Robinson, 27th. Xavier Worthy at 28th. Latu at 29th to the Lions. Ravens take Tyler Guyton at 30th. 49ers take Kingsley, and then Chiefs wrap up the first round with Jordan Morgan. That's interesting. And so, Chris asked the question, what would Khan do? And the thing is, I can't answer that. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't really answer that. I wish I could. If I could, man, I'd have more intel than anybody else out there. They're going to play their cards close to the chest. You might hear certain things about, oh, they really love this player, but man, sometimes when you don't hear anything about anybody, maybe that's the player that they really and listen, Mark asked, how do you pass on Fatanu? Dude, trust me, man. I don't know. See, here's the thing. Like Monongahela Mike says you blew it. Mims was the man. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. Cooper DeJean's a playmaker, man. He can play multiple positions on defense. He can help in the return game. He's an athlete. He's just, again, you want to talk about splash. If there's any coach in the league that loves splash on defense, who is it? Come on. Yeah, all right. Let's speed this up and actually let's go slow to 51 and see what happens here. Because we still have tackle and center we have to take care of. Let's see. Jackson Powers Johnson goes 36th. Kool-Aid McKinstry 37th. Roger Rosengarten 38th. Max Melton goes 39th. Commanders at 40th. Take Sandra still. Packers take Zach Frazier. So there goes Zach Frazier. Keon Coleman at 42. Peyton Wilson at 43. Jonathan Brooks at 44. Jalen Polk at 45. Roman Wilson at 46. All right. Patrick Paul, 47. Kamari Lassiter, 48. Bengals take Troy Franklin at 49th. And Eagles take Ricky Pearsall right before the Steelers go on the clock. That does not put us in a great position here at 51. Because I think if we're really wanting to address needs here, like the highest tackle left on the board here is the kid out of Yale. Now, granted, exclusively left side here. Don't know how I feel about that. I might want to trade back here. Just the way I'm looking at it, because you got Brandon Coleman here. You got Blake Fisher here. There are some center options, much further down the board. Mason McCormick. The Steelers hosted him for a pre-draft visit. And see, and Cody brings up a good point. And this is a mock draft, right? This is a mock draft. Don't fire me as Steelers GM because I'm not the Steelers GM. I'm helping provide scenarios for you. If you want to fall in love with Cooper DeJean in the first round, this is the situation that you might run into in the second round or even the third round. Cody says that's why you got to take an offensive line first. It's a big drop. It can be. Absolutely can be. So, yeah, Mark says White would have banged the table for one of those tackles. Forget Khan. I agree with that. Mark says Michael Penix is still available. I'm not taking a quarterback right now. We've got way too many other needs. So I feel like, let's see, how many teams are interested in this pick? Texans at 59. Okay, I can trade back 8 spots. Chargers at 69. No. That's too far. Let's trade back to 59. Let's see. Can I get 86 out of them? Nope. What if I get 123? Yeah. I'll try for 86 and see what happens. Nope. Try one more time. Nope. Okay. Yeah, they're not going to accept it. Let's get 123. give us a 4th round pick. And then let's see if we can also get like, let's see. Maybe we can get next year's 4th round pick too. What about their 3rd round pick next year? Nope. Let's do that. How about their 123 this year and then their 4th round pick next year? All right. How's that sound for trading back? I mean, we can't get receiver now. Let's see. Because Xavier Leggett right here from South Carolina, that's really interesting. See, it's so interesting. So interesting. I got so many people saying, receiver. I got some people saying make that trade. If I could have gotten a 3rd round pick out of it, I might have done that trade. Yeah. That's some people saying Orohoro. Chris said do all the splashy things. I'm not trying to necessarily do that. I do think though that a receiver in the 2nd round is really, really interesting here. Receiver in the 2nd round is something I'm really watching for come next Friday, a week from today. That's something I'm really going to watch for, unless they take one in the 1st round, which I don't necessarily see happening. As we stand right now, I'm not going to do the trade. I'm going to take the kid out of South Carolina, Xavier Leggett. If I'm saying that right, I might not be. I'm going to take him. All right, so we got cornerback and we got receiver taken care of. That's not necessarily the direction that I think the Steelers might go, but again, we're at the mercy of the mock draft simulator here. I do think overall, and again, the whole point of a mock draft is to help lay out scenarios. I'm not trying to say this is what the Steelers should do. So when people want to go into the comments and try to tell me how terrible the GM I am, I'm not trying to necessarily be Steelers GM. I'm trying to give you scenarios here. So if you love Cooper DeJean in the 1st round, that is a scenario you might run into. Okay, we're now at the end of round 2, and Malachi Corley is the last pick in the 2nd round. That is a scenario that you could be facing here, is that if the Steelers don't take a tackle or center in the 1st round and Cooper DeJean falls to them at 20 and they really love Cooper DeJean and they take him, and Mark says it here, no center or tackle, not the way to go. Like this really is, what do you think the Steelers are prioritizing? I think they're prioritizing tackle. But I almost wanted, because last time we did, and see, like Tito here saying it's like you do you, Chris. Again, I'm not trying to do do things my way. I'm literally trying. Honestly, I think one of the other reasons I wanted to take Cooper DeJean there was we took a tackle last time and we saw what happened. We took Amarius Mims in the 1st round last time, and and I want to show you guys what we saw what happened last time. We took a tackle in the 1st round. Okay, great. We feel good about tackle now. Amarius Mims, high risk, high reward type thing. But it does buy you a little bit more freedom in the 2nd round. But all right, let's keep going. I don't want this to take too long here. Beginning of the 3rd round, we got 2 picks in the 3rd round, 84 and 98. Possibly could trade up here, maybe if we want to. Maybe if we want to get a tackle. Like Blake Fisher's still there. And no, never mind. There we go, 68th overall. And again, it's one of those reasons why I might not want to trade. It's just, I want to show you scenarios that the Steelers might face should they not make any trades. Again, and there goes Brandon Coleman at 73rd to 73. And again, when you're trying to trade up from 84 to get to 68 or 73, like that's a wide range to try to jump, even in the 3rd round. So I'm just gonna stand pat here, and I'm gonna let you guys see scenarios that could play out here. Now we've addressed Cooper, we've addressed cornerback, we've addressed receiver. We really need to address probably the offensive line here. Okay. Now there's Javon Baker, Xavier Thomas here. Like we go far down, we got to go down the list here. And before we get to Cooper Beebe, Cooper Beebe, however you say it. See, and there's Mason McCormick right there. I think that's an option when you're talking about interior lineman. You talk about potential center there. Mason McCormick to me is an interesting guy. Steelers, hosted him. Cedric Van Pran's going to be there. Tackle. We've got Pooney out of Kansas. Yeah, man. I'm like you got some options here. The kid, kid out of Pitt. I mean, you got some options here when it comes to centers or tackles. Now, obviously, this is not necessarily what you want. I see a lot of people here are saying Van Pran. I might again. Let me see what my trade option. 2 teams are interested here. Okay, I can move back 4 spots, or I can move back 6 spots. Let's see. Maybe I can get more out of the Cardinals. And let's see if I can get 104 out of them too. Nope. Okay. Okay, so I could get 138 out of that. Let's see what the Packers. Packers can move up. Can they give me 126? All right. So we traded back 4 spots. I just said we weren't going to do trades, but yeah, it's my mock draft. I can do whatever I want. Let's see here. Let's see. Van Pran's still there. So, I will acquiesce to you guys, and I will take Cedric Van Pran. That's your guys' pick at 88th overall. All right, there you go. Cedric Van Pran, 88th overall. And we have 98. And then we also acquired an extra 4th round pick too. So now we got 2 picks in the 4th round. We're not doing the 4th round today. But took Van Pran, 88th overall. Maybe that's a good pick. Maybe it's not. I don't know. There goes Mason McCormick at 94th. I think taking a tackle here is a bit, I don't know. I mean, you got Dominic Puny here. Pull this up here. Primarily left side, though. This is the PFF's breakdown on the guy. No-star recruit, played at Central Missouri for 4 seasons before transferring to Kansas in 2022. He played left guard and left tackle. In his first season with the Jayhawks, Puny displayed bad posture and poor pad level that made him susceptible to rushers and didn't allow him to really maintain blocks. His posture was better in 2023. And although he was still standing taller than preferred, he was conscious of leverage and dropped his pads more before contact. Showed a lot more power in 23, disrupting and displacing defenders. His power best projects to guard. So that would probably be a no right now. Let's see. This might be a situation in which the Steelers just might have to take one of the best players available. Jeremiah Trotter at 98th sounds really attractive. Add to that linebacker room. We talked a little bit about that last week. But tackle still not addressed. Now, again, as much as the Steelers are prioritizing tackle, I don't see this scenario playing out. That by the time they get to their second pick in the 3rd round, they still haven't taken a tackle. But if this scenario were to play out, you can still get one in the 4th round. And with this particular mock draft, we've already acquired a second 4th round pick. So we stand a better chance of getting one of those 4th-round tackles. And we at least do have 2 starters at tackle right now. For as excited or lack thereof as you might be about Dan Moore, at least he can start. You have a starter in Dan Moore. But again, if I could go back to the beginning and try to really, really do this from the perception of what the Steelers might be doing, and I've kind of adjusted what I was going to be doing from what I said at the beginning, where I was going to be full blown. I'm going to do what the Steelers do. When I decided to take Cooper DeJean, I almost took that with to reiterate, I almost took that with the intention of, let's see how this plays out from here, so we can see how that ripple effect, see the ripple effect from that, right? Because we took Cooper DeJean, okay, great, we added a playmaker on defense, that's awesome, but we're still lacking at tackle, and the center we took is not necessarily a plug and play center. This is a guy who's going to have to come into training camp and really have to earn it. This is not a guy who you can just automatically assume is going to be starter week 1. That's just not who Cedric Van Pran is. He's got some work to do. One of the reasons why, even as long ago as a couple of months, and during the draft process, draft stock moves up and down all the time, was even projected to be a 3rd rounder back then, and I've only seen him go down draft boards, not up. So, this particular scenario here, again, we've got 2 picks in the 4th round. I'm not going 4th round today. We got to wrap this up. I'm going to take Jeremiah Trotter here. It adds to the linebacker room. We don't know what the future is going to hold with Cole Holcomb. Landon Roberts, last year of his deal, be really beneficial to get a young guy to play, to learn under watching a guy like Patrick Queen. Let's take Jeremiah Trotter. And let's speed this up to the very end. I've earned another reward. I do this a lot, so I probably have a lot of rewards that I have not seen yet. And honestly, I don't really care that much about PFF's grade of mine. Same thing as their actual grades. I don't care as much about my draft here. They gave me an A, which top 18% of all Steelers drafts on PFF. Cooper DeJean is an A+. Xavier Leggett is an A in the 2nd round. Cedric Van Pran is a B- at 88th overall, and then 98th overall. We got a B- for Jeremiah Trotter, overall A. But and see, Mark says this here, we can address tackle next year. Yes, there probably will be some tackles that the Steelers can address next year. I look at this particular tackle class, and I'm very, very interested to see if the Steelers can get one of these guys, because I think that it's worth it. I really, really do. And yes, Dan Moore is going to the last year of his deal. So, me personally, I don't know if I feel best about that particular mock draft. But again, when I decided to take Cooper DeJean there, I wanted to do that with like I said, I will reiterate this because there are going to be people in the comments that are going to say, it's a good thing you're not the GM like I got last time. That's fine. We're not ever going to see eye to eye. None of us are always going to see eye to eye on things, and that's fine. But again, the whole point of mock drafts here, if you can change your mindset from, I'm not trying to predict what's going to happen, I'm trying to lay out scenarios for you so you can see what particular scenarios the Steelers might face. If they take Cooper DeJean at 20th overall, that what you saw in the 2nd round is this very, very similar situation that they might have. They might not have a chance to get Zach Frazier or Jackson Powers Johnson or any of those guys. They might not have an option to get Patrick Paul or one of those 2nd round tackles. And then at that point, it's like, crap, we're now going to have to, okay, great. We got a really talented receiver. And now we've taken 2 guys. That's my alarm. I got to go. We've taken 2 guys that are really, really interesting at skill positions, and DeJean and Leggett. But we haven't addressed the trenches at all. And so that to me flies in the face of what the Steelers are prioritizing right now. But, and Wandering Warrior again says here, seriously, not taking an offensive tackle. But again, listen, in those particular scenarios, do you want me to reach for a tackle? Because the only time we ever got faced with a pick in which we weren't reaching for a tackle was in the first round. When I decided, again, I will say it again, I decided to take Cooper DeJean so I can show you guys what scenarios might play out at that point. I'll say it all. I'll keep saying it if I have to. But every other time, if we would have taken a tackle, we are reaching for a tackle. That is something that I can't even bring myself to do, even in a mock draft scenario. I cannot. I cannot reach for a player. So, but again, with what we did, we have 2 picks in the 4th round. We could take a tackle there, most likely. But if I can go back and do this same exact draft again and go to that 20th pick, and if I think Fatano's there, even if Cooper DeJean's there, if I were a betting man, I'd say if they take Fatano. But that's just me. So I, again, wanted to take Cooper DeJean there because now you can see how the draft board might fall. By the time they get to the 2nd round, there's not a tackle worth taking there. When we got to the 3rd round, there was not a tackle worth taking there. Blake Fisher was gone. Like other tackles that were, yeah. And see, the one thing that you can criticize me for, if I ever do it in a mock draft, is reaching for a player. That always deserves criticism, even in a mock draft. Don't reach for players. And Mark says I would have taken Fatanu. And guess what? Yeah, like I just said, if I were a betting man and it were between Fatanu and DeJean, the Steelers might take Fatanu. They just might. And Warning Warrior is absolutely right here. We have to protect Russell. You have to give him a chance. I agree 100%. And to ease everybody's minds at home, or everybody who's watching this, the Steelers are prioritizing tackle. Don't take this mock draft as like, this is what the Steelers are going to do. No, this is what the Steelers should do. No, I'm telling you for sure, the Steelers are prioritizing tackle. They have been. Another reporter reported it this week, saying something that I've been saying for the past couple of weeks now, that the most likely scenario to me, if you were to tell me anything, is I would not be shocked if a trade up for a tackle happened. I would, if that happens, I will not be shocked whatsoever. If anything, I'll be like, oh, well, told you guys they were prioritizing tackle. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there because I've got to run. I'm already way over time. But yeah, again, it's a mock draft. Painting scenarios here for you guys. Yeah, you would like to see a tackle addressed in the first 3 rounds of the draft, 100%. We just didn't get one, and we weren't going to reach for one. So we took what was there. Even to me, Van Pran was a bit of a reach, but it wasn't overly egregious. I would have much rather gotten Van Pran to 98 instead of 88, but Huncho says I'd take Fatano over DeJean, keep the rest though. But see, even one little decision right there, like maybe Leggett's not there. Maybe one team that, I don't see, like one team that would have taken DeJean but took somebody else. Maybe they took a receiver instead. And so that it just affects the receivers that are taken. So I don't know. Anyway. All right, guys. You guys have a great weekend. I'm sure the criticisms in the comments are going to be phenomenal. That's fine. You guys have a great weekend. Much love to everybody. No updates yet on the situation with any kind of a live watching party. I will let everybody know in the community section here on this channel on YouTube if we are going to have one. So keep an eye out for that in case we do. I'll let you guys know either way that whether we're going to do one or not. It'd be a lot of fun if we did, but I have to check with DK and Corey both because they're going to be the ones actually covering the draft. And my primary job is going to be helping them. So if they need my help overly need my help, sorry, I can't do it. But if they're like, no, this would be a great thing, because ultimately at the end of the day, what we have to do is we have to provide you guys with the best coverage we possibly can. If we can throw in a bonus like a watching party, then we'll absolutely do it. But we'll see. But it's always paramount to get you guys the best coverage we possibly can. And that is, on DKPittsburghSports.com. And if that's more important, then that's going to be more important, because we want you guys to be able to get all of the analysis, all of everything we can possibly give you guys from draft night, especially in the first round. So you guys, great weekend. Take care. Maybe we'll do one more before. Rick, you're funny, man. This is Paramount Plus. You guys have a great weekend. Take care. Maybe we'll do one more. Maybe we'll do one Wednesday, the day before the draft. Maybe we'll do that. See you guys. Catch you guys on the flippity flip.